There comes a time in every life when the noise becomes too loud, the hands too full, the path too crowded. Time is sacred, not just valuable, sacred. It is not a thing you own, not a possession you can tuck away for later. Time is a gift, slipping through your fingers whether you notice it or not. Every second, every minute, every hour, it is all borrowed, and none of it can be reclaimed. You can lose money and earn it back. You can misplace your energy and still wake up renewed. But time, once it's gone, it is gone. No force on this earth, no power of will or wealth can bring back even a single heartbeat of time misused. And yet, we waste it. We waste it on people who don't value us, on conversations that go in circles, on worrying about things that have already happened or may never happen at all. We give away our time like it's nothing, waiting in resentment, scrolling in distraction, agreeing to things we don't believe in because we are too afraid to say no. But to treat time so casually is to dishonor the life we've been given. Imagine if you treated each hour as if it were gold. Would you spend it complaining? Would you trade it for gossip, for doubt, for regret? Or would you invest it in learning, in creating, in healing, in being present with the people and passions that make you feel alive? You see, how you spend your time is how you spend your life. And life doesn't come with a clock you can see. You don't know how much is left. You may think you have years, but all you really have is now, this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. So why do we act as though our days are infinite when they are so clearly not? There are people in graves who thought they had more time. People who were waiting for someday to say, I love you, someday to chase the dream, someday to apologize, someday to forgive. But someday never came. And that is the most sobering truth of all. So today, you must learn to treasure time like you would treasure a child. You protect it. You don't let just anyone handle it. You don't drop it carelessly. You honor it with care, with presence, with purpose. That means saying no more often. That means getting still when the world says rush. That means turning off the noise and tuning into your soul, because not everything deserves your time. Not everyone is meant to walk with you. Not every call is meant to be answered. Distractions will always show up dressed as opportunities. You have to know the difference. Focusing on how you use your time isn't about becoming more productive. It's about becoming more intentional. It's about living a life that reflects your values, not one built on obligation and exhaustion. Don't be busy just to feel worthy. Be aligned. Be aware. Be awake. Each moment is holy, even the ordinary ones, especially the ordinary ones. The quiet cup of tea, the sound of your own breath, the silence before sleep. These are sacred rituals of time well spent. So when you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, what am I choosing to give my time to today? And is that choice worthy of this sacred gift I've been given? Because once this day is gone, it's gone forever. And you, beautiful, brilliant you, deserve to live in a way that honors every single second. People will pull you. They will pull you in every direction, some gently, some forcefully, some without even knowing they're doing it. They will pull you with their opinions, with their needs, with their expectations. And if you're not careful, if you're not grounded, you will find yourself living a life that doesn't even feel like yours. You'll wake up carrying burdens that don't belong to you, walking paths that were never meant for your feet, saying yes when your soul is screaming no. From the moment you step out into the world, someone is trying to shape you. They tell you who to be, how to act, what to dream. They tell you what success should look like, what love should feel like, what you must do to be accepted. And slowly, piece by piece, if you let them, they will rewrite your story with their ink. But you are not a canvas for someone else's brush. You are not here to be molded by the fear or comfort of others. You are here to become the truest, fullest, boldest version of you. And to do that, you must learn to anchor yourself. To anchor yourself is to plant your spirit deep into the soil of your own truth. It means knowing who you are even when the world is trying to tell you otherwise. It means standing firm even when it would be easier to follow the crowd. Anchoring yourself doesn't mean you don't listen or care or love. It means you don't lose yourself while doing so. There will always be noise. There will always be someone louder, faster, more convincing, and they will try to pull you toward their path, toward their way of doing things, toward their version of right. But you are not their echo. You are your own sound. And if you forget that, you'll spend your life chasing validation instead of purpose. The truth is, some people won't understand your journey. Some will resent it. Some will question your decisions, your silence, your boundaries. And when they can no longer control you, they may try to shame you. Let them. Because the deeper you anchor into yourself, the less their pull will move you. You must learn to check in with yourself before you check in with the world. Ask, what do I need today? What do I feel? What do I believe? Build a life rooted in that self-awareness. Otherwise, you'll drift. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. We all drift when we lose connection to ourselves. We all forget sometimes. That's why anchoring isn't a one-time act. It's a daily practice. You anchor yourself in your choices, in your morning rituals, in your boundaries, in your silence, in your dreams that no one else needs to understand but you. You do it by pausing before you respond, by listening to the quiet inner voice before reacting to the loud outer world. You do it by reminding yourself again and again that your life is yours. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing peace over approval. People will pull you, and not always out of malice, sometimes out of love, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of habit. But even good intentions can lead you away from yourself if you're not rooted. So love people, help them when you can, walk beside them, but do not let them carry your compass. The world needs more people who are anchored, people who are still in the storm, steady in the chaos, certain in their direction even when they are uncertain of the road. Be one of those people. Be grounded. Be centered. Be you, fully, unapologetically, relentlessly you. Comparison is a thief. It creeps in quietly like a shadow on a sunny day, and before you even realize it, it begins to rob you. It steals your joy first, quietly, slowly, then your peace, your clarity, and finally, your sense of self. It convinces you that what you have is not enough, that who you are is not enough, and that no matter how far you've come, someone else is always ahead. It tells you lies in the voice of truth. Look at her, prettier. Look at him, richer. They're younger and more successful. Happier, too, it seems. Comparison dresses itself in logic and whispers, you should be more like them. But the moment you accept that invitation, you step out of your own path and begin walking in shoes that do not fit. And nothing good grows in soil watered by envy. We are living in a world that feeds comparison like it's oxygen. Scroll long enough and you'll begin to doubt your own rhythm. You'll see highlight reels and forget the behind the scenes. You'll start measuring your worth by numbers, likes, followers, salaries, square footage, the smiles on someone else's family photo. But you must remember, those images do not tell the full story. What they show is not always what is. Joy cannot be filtered, struggle cannot be cropped, and peace cannot be posted. Comparison convinces you to ignore your own growth. It says, don't celebrate your small wins. Look how big theirs are. It tells you you're late when in fact you are right on time for your life, because life is not a race, it's not a competition, it's not a ladder where someone else's rise means your fall. You are not behind, you are not missing out. You are simply on a path that looks different because it is supposed to be different. Every flower blooms at its own pace. The sun doesn't rush the moon. The rivers don't envy the ocean. And yet here we are, measuring ourselves with someone else's ruler. The moment you do that, you forget your own shape. You forget your own strength. You forget that no one else has your voice, your mind, your story, your heart. And comparison doesn't just steal your joy, it also steals your presence. It keeps you stuck in someone else's moment while your own life passes by. You're not fully there because you're too busy wondering why your path looks different, why your chapter doesn't match theirs. But you were never meant to read from their book. You were meant to write your own. Letting go of comparison is not a one-time thing. It is a choice you make over and over. When you feel it rising, pause, breathe, come back to yourself. Remind yourself of where you were, where you are, and how far you've come. And understand that their success does not diminish yours. Their happiness does not take from yours. In fact, when you're truly anchored in who you are, you can celebrate others without questioning yourself. You are enough, not because you are better than anyone else, but because you are wholly, deeply, uniquely you. And no amount of comparison can create a more beautiful truth than that. So drop the measuring stick, loosen your grip on envy. Reclaim your time, your mind, your energy. There is no peace in trying to keep up. There is no joy in pretending someone else's path is meant for your feet. Comparison is a thief, yes, but only if you let it in. So close the door, lock it, and walk back toward yourself. That is where your power lives. That is where your freedom begins. You were not born to live in a constant rush, to fill your days with noise, and wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. This world has convinced us that being busy is the same as being important, that if your calendar is full, your life must be meaningful. But busyness without direction is just movement. It's spinning in circles, chasing tasks, chasing approval, chasing everything but your own purpose. There is a difference between being busy and being fulfilled. One drains you, the other fills you. One keeps you reacting, the other lets you choose. And too many people are moving fast, but going nowhere, checking boxes, meeting deadlines, attending meetings, replying to every message, yet feeling empty at the end of the day. Because it's not the speed that gives life meaning, it's the intention. Busyness can be a distraction. It can keep you from sitting still long enough to hear your own thoughts. It can keep you numb, keep you disconnected, keep you too tired to ask, is this even what I want? And when you are constantly doing, constantly running, constantly achieving without reflection, you forget how to simply be. You weren't meant to fill your life with things just for the sake of doing them. You were meant to listen to what pulls you forward, not with pressure, but with passion. Your days should not be a blur of appointments and obligations. Your life should not be spent pleasing everyone else while ignoring your own soul. Purpose is not loud. It doesn't always show up as a 5-year plan or a job title. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's in the choices you make when no one is watching. Sometimes it's just being fully present where your feet are. Washing the dishes with gratitude, taking a walk in silence, saying no when everything in you is tired of saying yes. Being purposeful means aligning your actions with your values. It means saying, this is who I am. This is what matters to me. And this is where I'm placing my energy today. It's not about perfection. It's not about productivity. It's about clarity. When you live with purpose, even the simplest acts become sacred. You stop rushing to be everywhere and start choosing to be somewhere with your whole heart. The world will try to tell you that your worth is tied to your output, that you have to always be available, always be hustling, always be achieving something, but that's a lie dressed up as ambition. You are worthy even when you rest. You are valuable even when you pause. You don't have to prove yourself by being endlessly busy. You prove your worth by simply being honest, whole, and present in your own life. So take a step back. Look at how you spend your hours. Ask yourself not just what you're doing, but why. Are you moving with intention, or are you moving out of habit, fear, or pressure? Are you filling your time with things that nourish you, or just things that keep you distracted? This life is not a race. It is not a scoreboard. It is not a to-do list. It is a gift. And every day you wake up is another chance to live with meaning, not just momentum. When you trade busyness for purpose, you find peace. You find direction. You find yourself, not in the chaos, but in the stillness of knowing what truly matters to you. Solitude is not loneliness. It is not a punishment, not an empty space to be filled, not a sign that something is missing. Solitude is a sanctuary. It is where you meet yourself without distraction, where you come home to your own voice, where you discover that your own company is not just enough, it is powerful. In a world that glorifies connection, that rewards constant engagement, that keeps us tethered to screens and conversations and the eyes of others, solitude can feel strange at first. It can feel quiet in a way that makes some people uneasy, because silence has a way of revealing things. And when you're alone with your thoughts, you start to hear the truth that gets drowned out in the noise of the world. But that truth is sacred, and the strength it reveals is something no applause, no crowd, no external validation can give you. When you choose solitude, not isolation, not hiding, but conscious stillness, you learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. You learn that peace doesn't come from others agreeing with you, and that clarity doesn't require a committee. There is courage in sitting with yourself, in facing your thoughts without fear, in learning to enjoy your own rhythm. It's in those quiet hours when you begin to understand what you really think, what you really want, what actually matters to you. You can't do that when you're constantly reacting to everyone else's energy. You can't grow roots when you're always being pulled in someone else's direction. Solitude gives you the gift of presence, deep, honest presence with your own life. You begin to notice things, the sound of the wind through the trees, the way your body feels after a long day, the truth of your emotions when no one else is watching. In solitude, you are not performing, you are simply being, and there is nothing more freeing than that. People will often confuse solitude with sadness because we've been taught to equate being alone with being unwanted. But that's a lie. You can be surrounded by people and still feel deeply lonely. And you can be completely alone and feel entirely whole. Because loneliness is the absence of connection, but solitude is the presence of self. And when you know how to be with yourself, really be with yourself, you become unshakable. You stop needing people to fill your emptiness. You stop chasing distractions to avoid your own mind. You start to value your own opinion, your own intuition, your own time. That kind of self-knowledge is not just rare, it is revolutionary. There will always be moments in life where you walk alone, through grief, through change, through growth. But if you've learned the art of solitude, you won't fear those moments. You'll welcome them as sacred ground. You'll recognize them as the soil where transformation begins. Solitude is where your resilience is born. It's where your vision becomes clear. It's where your soul speaks loudest. You don't need to run from it. You don't need to fill it with noise. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it remind you that strength isn't always loud and power isn't always seen. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is sit in silence and still feel whole. Self-focus is not selfish, it is sacred. In a world that constantly asks you to look outward, to give more, to serve endlessly, to say yes even when your soul is tired, focusing on yourself is an act of grace. It is not turning your back on others. It is turning toward your own truth. And that is where your strength begins. Too often, people confuse self-focus with arrogance, as if loving yourself means you love others less. But love is not a limited resource. When you nourish yourself, you expand your capacity to show up for others. not from obligation, not from depletion, but from overflow. You give better when you are full. You listen better when your own heart is at peace. You care more deeply when you've taken time to care for yourself. Focusing on yourself means knowing your limits and honoring them. It means checking in before checking out. It means asking, what do I need today? What is my spirit asking for? And then having the courage to respond with kindness instead of guilt. This world will applaud you for self-sacrifice, for putting others ahead of yourself until there is nothing left of you. But you are not here to run on empty. You are not here to survive. You are here to live and to live well. There is nothing selfish about protecting your peace. There is nothing wrong with saying no when your heart says no. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to choose joy. You are allowed to heal at your own pace. You are allowed to grow without explaining yourself to people who refuse to understand. Self-focus is about returning to your center. It is where you listen to your inner voice, the one that often gets drowned out by demands and distractions. In that stillness, you remember what matters to you, not what the world told you to chase, not what others expect of you, but what truly aligns with your spirit. And when you begin to live from that space of alignment, everything changes. Your choices become clearer, your relationships become healthier, you stop giving your energy away to things that don't feed your purpose, you stop measuring your worth by how much you produce or how many people approve. You move through life with intention because you know who you are. This kind of focus doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. It takes unlearning the idea that you must earn rest, that your value lies in how much you do for others. It takes standing firm when people call you selfish for choosing yourself, but you are not responsible for their comfort. You are responsible for your own soul. And when you commit to that responsibility, when you make space for yourself, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you begin to bloom. You begin to see that your presence matters, that your joy is not a luxury, it's a necessity, that your boundaries are not walls, but doors to deeper, more honest connection. You do not have to apologize for focusing on your own well-being. You do not have to explain why you needed time, why you needed space, why you needed to choose yourself, because the truth is, no one else can do that for you. No one else can live your life. No one else can walk your path. That is your sacred work. So tend to yourself like something precious. Not just when things fall apart, but every day. Because when you treat your time, your energy, your inner world with reverence, you remind the world that you are not here to disappear into everyone else's expectations. You are here to be fully and freely, and that is sacred. When you gather all the truths we've spoken about honoring your time, anchoring yourself, letting go of comparison, choosing purpose over busyness, embracing solitude, and treating self-focus as sacred, a single thread runs through them all. You are worthy of living a life that belongs to you.